Well, as we heard there, Scott tipped Paris Pike. He's ridden by last year's winning jockey Richard Guest. Jim McGrath has been looking through the Guest family album.
I learnt to read with the sporting life, and that is the truth. And I always have the racing post, and that's the first thing I do to see if any of the family's got rides or runners or whatever it is. So that's my life, like.
Richard Guest's father, Charlie, is steeped in racing tradition. When Richard won last year, he fulfilled a family ambition. Now assistant trainer to Norman Mason at a yard in Durham, he is renowned as a horseman. Clearly, he has benefited from being from a great racing family. Charlie, a former jockey, heads a racing dynasty. There's Ray, who's a trainer. Jane assists Henry Cecil, and Sally, an amateur rider, works for Sir Michael Stout. It surprised none of them that their little brother Richard won the Grand National.
Right from a very young boy, he was very confident with horses, and you know, just sort of as he went on, you could see him getting better and better. I didn't doubt that he'd one day win the National. I just always thought he would.
He didn't need much encouragement, but you know, through life you both have things that happen that you talk about in the job and everything, but he's always been able to know what he's going to do, and he's always done it very well.
Last year's Grand National wasn't easy. The ground was a quagmire, and Red Marauder, not the best of jumpers, needed plenty of assistance from the saddle. Family connections were never short of advice.
Uncle Joe told me about the getting out across Melling Road to have somewhere to jump. Those bits of things that people have, you know, they've spent 20 years learning. I've had the benefit of being told, and if you don't pay heed to them, you're pretty daft, aren't you?
So over the years, you're gathering this information as much as you possibly can. You're going in there with experience and a lot behind you.
Absolutely. You're taking from their experiences. I mean, Graham Bradley could never get over the chair. So he said to me, what I'm doing wrong? I said, well, I'll tell you what you're doing wrong. You've got to get the revs up there before you get there. And you know, he was sitting lovely, the most wonderful jockey you've ever seen, Graham Bradley. And yet he couldn't get over the chair. And that one little bit of information I got off of Graham McCourt has got us all over the chair a few times since, you know.
And is that the way the National is? There's great camaraderie. It seems to be from the outside, particularly when we have the cameras in the weighing room. That
Camaraderie in jump racing is every day, you know, and the National was no exception, you know. It's a tough old game. You can be up 1 minute and down the next. Just because you've got great camaraderie doesn't mean to say when the tapes go up, you know, that all go, you're delighted. You're not going to, if you can help someone to give them a bit of room and it's not going to bother you, you will. There's no reason not to be that way. It doesn't make you any less determined or even any less likely to win.
This year, Red Arc is the stable hope, but Richard can't make the weight and rides Paris Pike for rival trainer Ferdy Murphy.
I'd be delighted if Red Arc went and won the National, but I can quite honestly tell you that there'll be no quarter given from the last or anywhere in the race. I mean, may the best man win, and I won't be thinking that, and if mine horse from here wins, I'll be delighted, and if I beat him a short head, I will be delighted too.
Every year, the Guest family meet to watch the Grand National together. This year, like last, it will be at Henry Cecil's. Richard gets plenty of support from the family fan club, who are never surprised at what he achieves.
No, not at all. I've always believed that he would win the National one day.
Richard always rides the National. He always has a brilliant position, and there's no other jockey for the National. He just seems has the right position. Even on bad horses, he manages to get them round. So that you always feel a bit confident. You're not worrying for him.
Whatever he rides, I always think he'll give a good account of himself, yes.
We might put a bit of champagne in the fridge just in case.
This time next year, Richard Guest will officially be a trainer here in Durham. Whatever he achieves in his new career, family admiration is guaranteed.
I think anybody would be proud of a brother that won the Grand National, but in our family it means probably 10 times more than other families.
Well, will Richard be a guest in the winner's enclosure later on this afternoon to make it 2 wins in a row?